Man, it's hot outside. This is what we're working with. It's my 2012 Tacoma. This isn't my first truck. This isn't my first long travel, truck. I've had Explorers. I've had Yodas, Jeeps. I had a, third gen Tacoma. Ended up totaling it, and I wasn't really a fan of the third gen anyway, so I picked up a second gen from a dealership. It's pretty dirty right now, but as you can see, there is no suspension on it, right? So I'm gonna kind of make videos on this truck, building it, whatnot. I feel like there's a lot of videos on like all these Tacomas with these, mid-travel kits, and that's fine. I had one on this. I mean, it's in the back of my garage right now. Works good. I think that that's like the most entry level that you can do is like a set of coils and some arms, upper arms. But you get what you put into it. So I think that what's overlooked more than mid-travel is strengthening up these things. I think people think that they're just, you bolt it on, you're good to go. But there's a lot of issues with these trucks. And I ain't going to, sugarcoat it. Beginning with these, actually, as you can see, this one's bent already. Took a big rock to it or something. The bolt that goes through, those are garbage. They bend. The towers, you're talking about, I mean, not even an eighth inch. It's pretty vulnerable. So I think the biggest takeaway, when building these, they're not invincible. They're good trucks, but they're prone to having some cracks here and there, and you don't want to keep welding stuff. You want to just do it really first, right the first time. I don't think you need to long travel these trucks. It's kind of based, obviously it's more money. But I want to do these videos because I think that there's a way to do these that aren't crazy breaking the bank, and I'm going to show all the different options, all the gussets that you can do, all the the work that it takes to build these things into a pre-runner. I'm not much of a, I know the overland people are like a thing now. I'm not doing that. This thing's not getting a camper. It's not getting any storage or goofy shovels and shit like that. It's gonna be kind of just a little weekend warrior truck. It's gonna have long travel. It's gonna have coils, big coils. And I'm probably gonna wheel it, on rocks, and I'll probably just hit some desert stuff, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't ever plan on camping out of this thing. That's not really my thing. So if you like that kind of stuff, this is the video for you, and this is what we are working with. I did tack a lot of this. Now, I'm going to go over everything in other videos and stuff like that, or other clips that I got on my phone. But this is what we got. This is the start. Still got a lot of work. It's not even close. I still got to cycle everything. Still need axles. I'm waiting on axles. But I think this is a good start. I want to say, like, I don't have any sponsors or nothing like that. And I think that when it comes to these trucks, people kind of shy away and think that they're just kind of unattainable to do a long travel setup on them. And if they do, how they have to have some deep pockets. But, I don't make a ton of money. I'm just trying to piece it together little by little, and I've accumulated enough parts to start making videos on it, I guess. So I kind of want to do some videos on, like, building the the gussets and doing a lot of like the strengthening work on it, because I think that's almost more important than really what you have for suspension. Being able to push the limit of whatever suspension you have is kind of the most important part. If you're running a mid-travel kit, and that's your thing, there's nothing worse than just having a truck that slowly but surely just starts to not drive straight. It starts to veer off and things are kind of clunking, and you're like, okay, well, what's that noise? I think building it correctly, like there's so many parts for these trucks, and I think that a lot of them are overlooked because they spend money on some coils. Like I said, I got them, the fender right there, I got them in the back. I ran them, they're good, they work good, super comfortable. Garage is a mess, whole shop is a mess. These are the coils we're doing. All right, I'll do another video on those one day. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of new to making videos, but this is what we're working with. It's a good start. Cleaned up, stripped down. It's gonna get a bumper. It's gonna get, arms. I'm gonna do a rear bumper. I'm just gonna start filming all the stuff that I'll do to it. The majority of it though is just getting everything gusseted up first, because when you start cycling everything, you don't want to get to a point where you're stuck. The worst part that you can do when you're building something is get it all welded, finish welded, and you think it's strong and it's good to go, and then you start cycling stuff and stuff is binding up or not working with each other, or certain parts are not compatible with each other. I'm going to try to avoid all that. That's why a lot of my arm is tacked up. That's why a lot of the gussets haven't been put on yet. We're going to start with the lowers, gusseting that, because it's kind of nothing that can really hurt there. But once the parts start to flow in, like they have been, then I'll have more stuff to do on it. And these are great trucks. I think this and a Ranger is probably the best platform you could build a pre-runner out of. This one's 4-wheel drive, so it's not going to be pushing crazy numbers, but I've had 2-wheel drive trucks in the past. They're fun. I like it. But I just kind of want to, this one's 4-wheel drive, and kind of want to just retain the 4-wheel drive. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be something that comes up, I'm sure. But, I think this will be a fun one. And a lot of these parts too that I take off, I'm selling and whatnot. I do this on other people's trucks all the time, building them like, the way I know how to. And now it's finally time to do it on my own. Finally gotten enough time and money to start accumulating parts. Need to buy some steel for the bumper and whatnot, but I'm going through all that, This chassis, the 120 chassis, is, probably one of the best Toyota chassis ever, because it's so compatible. This is the front end is the same front end as a 4Runner, the same front end as a, certain your FJ Cruisers, some GXs, stuff like that. And on top of all that, it's usually compatible with a lot of other year Tacomas, like the 3rd gen. This is all the same chassis. It's the same parts. I can pull those parts off and throw it on a, newer one, no problem. Actually, a lot of the parts from my 3rd gen were, when I crashed it, tossed onto this one when I bought it. So, mid-travel's been fun. If you even, consider that mid-travel. It's realistically the same amount of travel. People get all choked up on, it's, 1 inch longer, that's not really all that true. You maybe are getting 3/4 of an inch more travel, but that's so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. That's why I think it's important to spend the money on the gussets, because you can push, whatever travel you have on, a tuned shock is more important than anything, and push, similar travel to stock, but with way more fluidity and way more, articulation, like without getting bound up on things like bushings and things like, maybe a ball joint. I think a ball joint even just pulls the same amount of travel as a uniball, but there's really no wrong way to do it. This is just the way I'm doing it, and maybe it'll show people, what kind of options there are. Like I said, I'll go over in a video all the gussets I have, and some that I don't have that, can be an option also. But I'm doing this the not cheapest way. There's really it's a bad word to say cheap when you're doing these, but a way that's attainable, and you can progressively build yourself. I just wanted to do it all at once because it's all apart at once. I don't feel like taking off those wheels, more times than I need to. But these are all things that you can, start to Christmas list, if you will, and slowly start building. So yeah.